What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to PT Files. And this time, I got my boy Lavish 444 in the building. You know what I'm saying? So
What's
you can
going on?
introduce yourself to the people.
I'm
Let them know
Lavish
what's going on.
444, aka Mr. 444. I'm here. I came to come vibe with y'all, come kick it. Get into it.
All right, for sure. So you're in the exotic car business, exotic B&B, real estate, all that type stuff. So how did you even get into that?
So with the car industry, my dad rented exotic cars, foreigns, and then not only that, my big cousin. I watched my big cousin purchase a lot of vehicles, Maybachs, Rolls Royces, and just being around that and kind of seeing the audience that it kind of bring towards him. Kind of because he's a big time real estate agent. You know what I'm saying? So just being around him and seeing that his vehicles open up doors that he can't, it kind of like made me really want to get into the exotic car industry for real.
All right. So what about the exotic Airbnb real estate?
So on the real estate tip, it's kind of like my cousin. He's the type of guy, I can take you to the water, but I can't make you drink it. He's like one of those. So it's kind of like I've always been around the real estate, but I really didn't know what I wanted to do with real estate. So me and one of my business partners, we kind of found the property and kind of got into the Airbnb business. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, okay, this is what we're going to do different. So all our properties are kind of different. It's kind of like none of our properties are never going to be the same. This one might got a pool. This one might got a pool table and a movie theater. Like, it's so many different things when it comes to the Airbnb business. But that's really how I kind of got into it. Just partners up with a couple of business partners and just sat down and locked in on it like that.
Okay, for sure. So with your exotic cars, what all type of cars you got? Because I see you like loaded up with.
So we got Lamborghini Urus, Wraith, Cudley, McLaren, Cybertruck, Black Escalade, Porsche. Yeah, like the list goes on. Like, it's no car that we can't get for you. Whatever kind of car you want that's an exotic car, we'll be able to get it for you.
For sure. So how were you able to, bring in clientele and, show people like this is what I got and actually get customers?
I feel like with that, it's kind of more of like the marketing. You got to have marketing strategies. You kind of got to have to get those kind of clients. You got to be in these cars. You got to be around people that want these cars. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's about trying to go after the right audience when it comes to like the exotic car business and renting out these kind of cars. So I feel like I said, you got to take marketing serious to even get these kind of clients. So, I'm real big on market. I'm real big on posting, not only on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever I got to do to get it out there, like, I'm going to get it out there.
For sure. So what has been the hardest part about, dealing with exotic cars?
I would say the hardest part is, some clients get these cars and don't want to bring them back.
What do you mean?
Like they would get them and okay, cool. Like, let's say you rent it out, you got to bring it back at 7:30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, I might call you at 7:30. You like, oh, I'm down the road, but you don't want to bring the car back to 8:30, 9. So it's like things like that. Like, you kind of got to stay on top of it, because as people renting these type of cars, they do want to, feel luxury, feel lavish, or however you want to put it. But I feel like you just got to stay on top of your clients. You know what I'm saying? Because these cars are very expensive. So not only that, like, you don't want nobody to steal your car.
Yeah.
You don't want nobody so it's kind of like you got to watch who you rent to when you in this kind of business. You can't just rent to anybody.
So we do stay in Atlanta. So do y'all be having problems with like people stealing cars or breaking in, or like you had a client like, damn, somebody done broke in a car that y'all renting out, or
Yeah, recently we just had a client. They came and rented the Cudley for their birthday, and I don't know if they was posting or whatever the case may be while they was in the vehicle, but somebody did try to break into the Cudley, and like, we got to get the windows fixed and all type of that, like stuff like that. It'd be like little problems, but the guys that we work with, you know, we kind of like, we keep it professional. So we're not going to sit here and take it out on the client. We're going to handle it, whatever we got to do to make sure our client happy, if that's putting them in another car or whatever we got to do on our end to make sure the business still flowing.
So on y'all end, okay, so say for instance, like you just said, like somebody try to break in a car, like does all that come with, you know, when they rent it? Like do they got to pay for like insurance and all that stuff, or like?
So 9 times out of 10, when you rent from us, you kind of already got to have full coverage insurance.
Yeah.
Our requirements is 25 and older with full coverage insurance. So you definitely got to have full coverage insurance when you renting these vehicles. We can't just rent to anybody.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the most important part. You got to have full coverage insurance. If you don't have full coverage insurance, I can't rent to you.
Okay, for sure. So okay, so back to like the Airbnb business and real estate. When y'all renting properties and stuff too, how does that go about like your clientele and all that stuff?
So my clientele for like the Airbnb, it's kind of like when these people are renting these houses, they kind of want to be at home. They want to be comfortable. And they don't want to feel like they're away from their home. You got to think about it. You got people from LA, you got people from Miami, Chicago that come out here to Atlanta and not only, you know, want to live good, but they actually want to have a good time while they're in the property. So I feel like with us, it's kind of like our property is very comfortable. It make it, you know, you feel like you at home. Even though when you're not at home, you feel like you at home. So I feel like, you know.
For sure. So with, you know, doing exotic cars and, you know, the Airbnb, how are you able to manage both and, you know, keep your head on right or make sure everything going good, or like, you know, making sure ain't nobody tearing up your shit in the Airbnb or like.
Right. So I feel like you gotta have a balance. And what I mean by balance is, you know, you gotta learn how to multitask. And even in life, you gotta learn how to multitask. You gotta learn how to do more than one thing. And what I mean by that, like, okay, cool, if real estate not going good, I focus on cars. If the car's not going good, I focus on real estate. So I kind of have a balance, but 9 times out of 10, I normally balance both of them pretty well. If I got something to do with a car today, I'm going to lock in. And when I get done with that, I'm going to check on our Airbnb and make sure everything is flowing with that how it's supposed to be going. Same thing with Airbnb. If I got somebody that's about to check in, okay, I'm going to make sure that the business is handled first. And then I'm going to go around the cars and make sure, okay, cool, like, I got this person that want to book today, or I got this person coming to do a video. It just depends. Like, but you got to learn how to multitask. If that's, you know, I feel like that's the most important thing. You got to learn how to multitask when you're in this kind of business.
Okay, for sure. So with the Airbnbs, like I was saying, like people tearing your shit up, or like, you know, you rent out the houses and like, damn, you came back, they done messed up the whole B&B. So like because I know y'all got that mansion. I know everybody throw a party at that mansion. Like, how do you manage that? Or like, you know.
So first off, when you book with us, we need to know exactly how many people is going to be on the property.
Okay.
And that's going to go based on your deposit. If you got, you know, 8 people and then you tell me you got 8 people and you bring 12 or 10, then it's going to be some repercussions, because at the end of the day you told me that you was going to bring 8 and it's 10 people over here. So, I mean, and then you also got to think about it like these, not only with these cars, but with these properties that we deal with, you know, I kind of do like a large deposit. You know, my deposit normally is $2K, and I can't normally go up under $2K for these kind of the property or the cars. So, I mean, nobody don't want to lose $2K. If you want me to be honest, nobody really don't want to lose $2K. So I feel like people gonna do right, especially when they got money that's already tied into it. You know, they gonna do everything the right way. So I feel like that deposit though, I know for a fact them folks don't play by that deposit. They want that deposit money back.
For sure, I'm already knowing. Yeah, you gotta pay up front.
You gotta pay up front.
You definitely better come right. 8 people. It need to just be 8 people.
8, or you know, whatever you tell me that you gonna do, that's exactly what you need to do. You know, you don't need to do nothing extra. Like, you know, even if you tell me that you're throwing a party, you know, I can understand that. Okay, cool. That these people gonna have a party. This is what's going on. Me and my business partner will sit down and we'll compromise with you. But if you try to go behind our back on something like, oh, we're gonna do this anyways, and we're not gonna tell them, then that's when the problem is actually gonna kick in, because my business partner gonna look at me like, did you know? And I'm like, no, sir, I didn't know. And then that's when we gonna come together and like, okay, cool, like y'all don't get this deposit back, or y'all don't get this amount because y'all did XYZ.
For sure, for sure. So what does it take to even get in that type of business? Like, especially like exotic cars, because that's not, I know for a fact that ain't something you can just jump into. Like, real estate,
Right.
everybody can dib and dab in real estate. But as far as exotic cars, like, you gotta have some type of connection or something to just be able to get them cars.
So it's definitely the connection. And I tell my friends and the people that's around me this all the time. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And, gaining this relationship, I gained these relationship with all these people based off of my energy, being at the right place at the right time, having these type of conversations and expanding the way I think. Because I didn't always think like this. I always thought, oh, I'll be doing this or I'll be doing that. But when I actually got around these people and understood, like, oh, that man right there got $1 million mindset, or this man right here got $1 billion mindset, it makes me change, the way I think and the way that I move. But like I said, like, just getting that opportunity to be around these people and just learning from them, I feel like that's really what made me like lock in for real, because I didn't even take the business serious at first. Like I was around it, but I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do it when I want to.
Yeah.
But then I had to understand, like, nah, this is a business. Like, this is what'll feed my family. You know what I'm saying? So that's what really made me lock into the business. Like, okay, cool, this is what I got to do, and this is how I need to do it, and this is when it need to be done. So I had to get more serious about the business.
So what just made you like be like, yeah, I gotta lock in? You feel me? Like,
I do have a son, so I feel like my son made me really just like lock in. Like me having a son, like I feel like nobody, want a kid or was gonna have a kid and not gonna leave nothing behind for their kid. So I feel like me getting into real estate is like, okay, cool, I got something that I can leave behind. Like even if I'm not here, I still got something that I can leave behind. And that's really what made me even get into real estate. Like, okay, cool, I gotta lock in, I gotta focus, I gotta take care of mine. And, that's what really changed my mindset. So my mindset been changed about 2-3 years now. Like, I gotta focus.
For sure, for sure. So what cars you be driving? Because I know you be definitely be riding around in.
So I slide in McLaren. I slide in Lamb sometimes. So it's kind of like I kind of switch out my cars. I never really ride in the same car unless, I got somewhere to go. But majority of times, man, I ride in something that it's not even foreign. I kind of ride in something that you would never be like, oh, he in that. Like,
Yeah.
I like to ride around like very low key. Like, you wouldn't even know, oh, he in a Nissan. Yeah, I'm in a Nissan. Like, I'm chilling. Like, but some days when I want to pop it, like, okay, I can go Lamb or I can go McLaren, I go Rolls Royce. So it's good to have those kind of options. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, like, I never know what I want to be in tomorrow. Tomorrow might go Lamb truck. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just depends on how I feel.
For sure, for sure. So, in your journey in the business that you're doing, you got failures, you succeed in some areas. What has been a failure that you had to overcome dealing with your business?
I feel like the failure, you always gonna fall. It just depends on, if you get back up or not. I feel like I failed. We actually failed because we had did a project. Me and my business partners, we had did a property. And we got the property at a decent number. We fixed it up. But when we put it on the market value was like $850,000. And no property in that area was sold for $850,000. But if that property would have sold, it would have brought value to the neighborhood. But the fact that we couldn't sell that house and we couldn't move that house, the bank ended up taking that property back. And I feel like that's what made us like, nah, we ain't even going for that. Like, because that's a lot of time that we putting into these properties and a lot of energy, like, riding by these properties every single day and making sure that our workers are actually going to work. Because sometimes these people, you'll pay them and they kind of feel like they work on their time. Like, nah, like, we got a deadline. Everything that we do in real estate, you got a deadline.
Yeah.
So I feel like you just got to be, I don't know, like, like
What has been like your biggest success so far?
my biggest success, I feel like me being consistent brings my success. So like, you know, I meet different people. I have different kind of relationships, you know, in this industry. So I feel like my biggest success is like probably working with one of my friends. I just worked with one of my friends recently, and just having that relationship with him because, you know, he's a professional football player, but having, you know, my business going on and also knowing that my business is professional, I feel like that just felt good. Like that just made me feel good as a person. Like, okay, cool. Like not only he got what he got going on, but I got what I got going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, together, you know, we at the top. Like we on something different.
Yeah.
Especially where we from. You know, because we not from Atlanta. You know, we from the country.
Oh, where you from?
I'm from Valdosta, Georgia.
Oh yeah, you definitely from the country.
Yeah, that's where I'm from, like born and raised. But, you know, like even moving up here to the city, like I said, like that's really what made me get into real estate. Because when I got up here to Atlanta, I seen all the new construction. Like I seen skyscrapers. Like in the country, you don't see no skyscraper. Like you know what I'm saying? So that's really what made me get into like real estate. That's really what made me lock into real estate. Because you always gonna need land.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna make no more land. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like if you don't get into it now, you're gonna be late.
Yeah. So what people who are getting this type of business, real estate, exotic cars, whatever, what can you tell them? What do they need to do to start? Or like, how can they start? What they need to do?
To actually start, see, I paid for a mentor. I paid for a mentor. I paid my way in. You know, you can pay your way in, or you can go to YouTube and actually study. You know, it's not that hard, but like I said, I paid to learn the information that I know. Nobody didn't just give me this information. Nobody just taught me this information. I had to pay to learn the things that I know and the way that I structure my business. So, I mean, you can go to YouTube, you can take your notes, you know, you can read a couple of books. It depends on the way that you learn because everybody don't learn the same.
Yeah.
And like I could read books, I could go on YouTube, but I'm more hands-on. I'm a hands-on learner, so I have to sit down beside somebody and learn like that. Like I can't learn like reading a book. I can't learn by watching YouTube. Like, what is this man talking about? I would be confused. So like I'm more of a hands-on learner, but I do got a mentorship coming soon, but I'm trying to wait till I get everything else taken care of before I start helping people learn how to do real estate or learn how to do exotic rentals.
For sure. So how do you in a business, you know, you talk about connections and stuff like that, you know, maintaining, you know, relationships, connections, make sure, you know, when, you know, people come and talk to you, you know, you give, you know, tell them, show them that, you know, somebody that you can work with, like you keep that good relationship. How do you keep those bonds and connections?
I feel like having those relationships are more important than having friends because you want those people that can call you and be like, hey, I want to do this, or hey, let's do this. Yeah. And it's on the business side. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to be around a lot of people that wasn't on what I was on. Yeah. And then I had to understand, like, these aren't the relationships that I want. I want to be around somebody that's actually motivated to do this, or somebody that's like, okay, cool, let's go buy 50 acres and start our own subdivision. Like, stuff like that. Like, I don't like to be around somebody that's just like, man, what we doing? Like, where we going at? It's a party tonight? Like, I'm not that type of guy. I grew out of that so long ago. So it's kind of like when you get those kind of friends and you in those type of circles, you kind of hold on to them kind of people. Yeah. You know, like, you want those people around you. You even if it's not about business, you do make that phone call just to check up on somebody to make sure, like, oh, you good? You straight? You all right? Like, and those are the type of relationships that I like to build. Like, it's not always about the money, but I do like to call and check in on some of my business partners and just make sure, like, they good. You know what I'm saying? Because it, you know, or to have that person that call your phone and be like, hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everything that you got going on. Like, you know, those are the type of relationships that you want.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
So how are you able to, because I feel like everybody go through this period of time in their life. How are you able to manage your friendships and, you know, family, because everybody is not on the same timing that you're on. So, you know, probably losing a best friend or losing a family member because you want something different, and they may think, oh man, you think you better than, like, stuff like that. How you able to
See,
navigate through that?
I never was the type of person to act like I'm better than. Like, I'm very much humble, and I understand everybody's situation. Everybody is not always gonna be rich, or everybody's not always gonna have. It's gonna be times that you don't have. It's gonna be times, that you're trying, but you're not where you want to be at. And I'm the type of person, like, I don't judge. I can't judge nobody. I'm not God. You know what I'm saying? So that don't make it right for me to judge you, no matter where you came from, no matter your situation, no matter your background. Like, I'm not that type of person. I'm gonna stick through. Like, if I fuck with you for real, I fuck with you for real. And that ain't gonna never change.
So have you ever like just lost people along the way going through this journey?
A lot of people gonna fall off. Like, I feel like, honestly, a lot of people gonna fall off because a lot of people can't go to the top with you. And you gotta understand that a lot of people aren't meant to go to the top with you. Like, yeah, we can be cool, but you're not on what I'm on. So it's like more of a self thing. Like, I gotta distance myself to get myself to where I wanna be at. It don't have nothing to do with the relationship or the friendship. Like, you still might be cool, but you're not on what I'm on. So I gotta distance myself before I fall in the trap with you. Like, if I'm on and you not on, I already know, like, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna call me like, hey, I need help with this, or I need help with that. And I'm gonna help you for sure. But my thing is, like, I gotta be as focused as possible. I can't have no distractions.
So growing up, what did it take for you to finally separate yourself from, the people who don't have the same mindset as you, or the people who, like, damn, like, we ain't doing shit, like, or y'all, nah, like, I gotta get on out of here.
So, shit. It took a lot. Like, it took a lot for me to actually just be where I'm at today. You know what I'm saying? Because you got those friends that you be like, bro, I want you to be with me when I do this, or I want you to be with me when I do that. But it's like, you can't change nobody else's mindset. Like, you can't do that. Even if you really try, like, hey, we're going to do this, like, they're not going to be on what you on, or they're not going to be, or want to be as successful as you while you doing that. So it's kind of like, it's just better to distance yourself. Like, a lot of my partners that I grew up with, like, they still my partners, but they not on what I'm on. So, like, yeah, they call my phone, I'm going to answer. But, I know that this conversation going to be brief. Like, it's not going to be no long conversation. I know, we not talking about, hey, what you got going on with real estate, or what you got going on with the exotic cars. Like, we talking about something else that probably basketball or football. I don't even care about sports. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it be things like that. But I be trying to, like, the people that's around me for real, I feel like we all on the same mission right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more big on family. So I want my cousins to be on what I'm on. And I want them to understand, like, yeah, we can figure it out. If we all come together and we all on the same mission for real, like, we'll break generational curse. And I'm a firm believer of that. Like, all they got to do is follow.
For sure. Who has, like, been your biggest supporter throughout this journey, or, like, who has really, like, motivated you to, like, yeah, bro, you need to do this. Like, you need to.
So I would say, like, with the cars, I would say Matt. That's the owner of MVP. I feel like he's, like, one of the guys that really, like, put me on with the cars, and, like, made me really have an understanding and a vision with that. And another person I would say was Trader Realtor. Trader Realtor, like, that's my first cousin, my blood cousin. And like I said, like, he the type of guy, like, I can bring you to the water, but I can't make you drink it. So, but, like, like, I felt like I needed that. I really needed, my cousin to just have me around these type of things, so it can open my eye and like, let me understand, like, okay, this is what's going on, and this is how I need to do this, and this is how I need to carry myself, and this is how I need to talk. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So what has kept you motivated? Like, what is your biggest motivation?
My child. I feel like my child is always gonna be my biggest motivation. Like, having a child, like I said, you always gonna want to have something to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could leave tomorrow, you could check out tomorrow. You never know when it's your last day for real. So I feel like you know, you wanna kind of build that rep. You kind of want to build something for the generation behind you. I feel like that's really what got me focused. That really what got me on my path, got me on my shit for real.
Okay, that's what's up. So take a little turn real quick. What was Lavish like as a kid? Like, who was he like this? Like how you is now? Was that the same kid?
I mean, Lavish was always lavish. Like, you know, I grew up, you know, honestly, I grew up, you know, my parents, we grew up with money. You know, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I didn't grow up with this, I didn't grow up with that. Like, nah, like, I grew up, like, my parents took care of almost everything, you know. I had a big boy pool in the backyard. I had dirt bikes, four-wheelers. Like, I was always fresh. So it's like, it's not nothing new to me. But what I'm saying is, like, I was just blessed. You know, like, it's a blessing to even have your parents up under the same household, or have your parents doing this and doing that for you. Like, and I had to understand that because, like, a lot of people used to try to pick, like, it was a joke or something, like, oh, you got this or you got that. Like, but in reality, it's like, man, I'm blessed to be in this position. Like, I didn't ask for it, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's kind of, like, how I feel about, like, just growing up. Like, you know, I had everything. It's nothing that I didn't have. Anything I wanted, I got. And that's just, like, that was my life for real.
So your parents were like entrepreneurs too, or?
So my mom was a school teacher. My mom was a PE school teacher. So that's kind of what made me like the popular kid. Like, oh, your mama, da. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what made me the popular kid. But my dad was definitely the entrepreneur. My dad, he did have a car rental business. And he kind of taught me the game at like 15, 16 years old. Like, okay, this is how you check out a car. This is how you make sure that this is clean. Or, okay, if your car go out like this, make sure your car come back the same exact way. And that's what really made me, like, understand the car business. Like, so I feel like, yeah, my dad was the entrepreneur in our family. He just passed the torch.
For sure. So you basically just followed your dad behind and just kind of like went in and did your own thing with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like he put me in that position, but I didn't understand at that time. Like, being young, you don't really understand what your parents really trying to do for you.
Yeah.
It's like he opened that door, but I was so hard-headed, so stubborn. Like, I closed it. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? But then the older I got, I'm like, dang. Like, I called my dad a couple days ago, like, dang, man, I really appreciate you. I appreciate you for everything that you ever did for me, like, for even putting me in this type of position to understand, like, what I got going on now. Like, even though you tried to show me back then and I didn't catch on, but I caught on now, it's like, I appreciate that because you really did open that door for me.
So was cars and, you know, real estate, was that like always your passion, or was it something different, or you just didn't know?
See, I was a football player. Like, you know how it is when you a football player, like, man, nigga gonna make it to that league. Like, that's all we thinking about. Like, when football player, 9 times out of 10, you play football, you like, man, I'm gonna make it. Like, you don't got no mind outside of football. Like, you can't cook, can't clean. Like, for real, like, all you know is football. Like, I'm going to football practice. Like, that's all you really know. And so I feel like I had to get out of that football mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, when you in that football mentality, all you know is workout and workout and workout. Like, that's all you know. Like, you don't know nothing else. So I feel like I had to change my mindset from, like, a football player.
So how were you able to transition out of that?
I mean, it took a while, but I always liked the money. I mean, I'm not going to say it like that, but it's kind of like I kind of was more on the business side. I wanted to be more, like, business savvy instead of, like, an athlete. You know what I'm saying? Because if you actually think about it, okay, an athlete does make good money. You know what I'm saying? But if you actually turn into your entrepreneur and you get on your Zoom, then you understand, like, oh, I can make just as much as an NFL player. Or I can make just as much as an NBA basketball player. But it depends on what you're doing and how you're doing it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's really...
For sure. So how do you manage your day-to-day life? Like, what's a typical day in life of Lavish?
We wake up around like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I do have breakfast, you know. Thankful that I be having breakfast. I go to the gym. I try to, you know, read a book or two. You know, not too much, but probably like a page. I go by the shop. you know, try to see what kind of customers or clients that I'll have this week, or trying to make sure, okay, cool, like, did y'all send y'all deposit, or did y'all lock this in? Because a lot of people will talk about, oh, like, I want to get this car, but never send a deposit. So I can't take you serious if you don't send a deposit. So if it's not with the cars, then I try to see what I got available for the houses, like, you know, because we do video shoots, movies, all type of stuff. So it's kind of like I kind of plan my day based off of my marketing and like exactly what I got to do today.
For sure, for sure. So who has been like your top clients? Like, if you can name clients off the top of your head, like, damn, I had this client, that client.
I would say Rashad Bateman probably has been like one of my biggest clients. Well, I wouldn't say just my biggest clients, but I would say like one of my closest clients that I'm like real close with. You know what I'm saying? Like, we grew up playing football together. We grew up around each other. But, you know, he played for the Ravens now. So it's like when he came and rented from me, I felt like that just locked us in even closer for real. Because not only, like, you know, we brothers for real, but now, you know, like on the business side, like we handling the biz together. So I feel like that was probably like one of my best clients that I probably had a relationship with.
Okay, cool. Do you plan on expanding the exotic car business and the Airbnb like to different states?
So the exotic cars, we got exotic cars already in Atlanta, Miami, North Carolina, and LA. And I'm trying to basically get that same kind of rhythm with real estate. I'm trying to be not in Atlanta, Miami, LA, Chicago, and New York, like on the real estate tip. So it's just like right now I'm kind of like warming up, like just learning my markets, because that's the biggest thing in real estate. Like, you kind of got to know your markets. You got to know what's going for what, or what's being sold, and, you know, how many days this been on the market, to know if it's a good deal. So I feel like with the real estate tip, I'm trying to go like nationwide with real estate. I want to go to Turks. I'm trying to buy land out there in Turks and everything. Like,
out the country?
Yeah, out the country. Like, I want something different.
Okay, for sure, for sure. So, with the real estate too, are you just building houses too? Or are you flipping, or what's
So we do fix and flips, and, you know, we buy property. Not only that we do fix and flips, but, you know, we do rental. We got a wholesale company. It's like I'm trying to reach like every side of real estate that I can, as many sides that I can, like every aspect. I'm trying to hit it. But with the fix and flip, like, I'm more kind of locked in on the fix and flip side, finding properties, distressed properties. But since that I have my own company, it's kind of like I get my properties from my company. And the fact that I'm getting a discount already on the property, okay, I know exactly, okay, this property needs floors, it needs roof, and it needs new windows. So I kind of like got an idea on what it's going to cost and what'll be the net profit on the property.
So how do you go about choosing your team? Because, you know, you got to have a team for this type of stuff. So making sure whoever doing the fixing and all this stuff, they doing it right, or, you know.
So like, you kind of got to be on site when people working for real and they doing these kind of jobs and doing these kind of projects. You kind of want to supervise them, or you have somebody that you really trust, like, hey, go over here and look at that, make sure they did this, or go over there and look at that and make sure that they did the roof the correct way. It's kind of like 9 times out of 10, you always going to have somebody that's on your team that's watching them before they get paid. Because a lot of people, like I said, they oh, can you pay me? And then the work don't be done, or then they try to half-ass your work. So it's kind of like you really want to be on top of them when they doing this type of like work for real.
So do you got any like package deals like with Airbnb and exotic cars?
I do got package deals for the so that's exactly what we're working on now. We're working on package deals for the rental cars and the Airbnbs. And, you know, I'm trying to get a couple of condos locked in. So like right now, all our properties are at least like 5 to 6 bedrooms. So I'm trying to get like 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. So it's like I have every size bedroom that somebody would need. But right now I'm definitely working on package deals with the exotic car and the property at the same exact time. And, you know, like with our cars, you can get it delivered to the airport, or you can get it delivered to the property.
Okay, for sure, for sure. So how does like the investment side work for you? Like, knowing what's a good investment, what's not a good investment. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I could put my money in this, or nah, I shouldn't put my money into that.
So I feel like with that, it's kind of like the comps. Like when I run my comps, to know exactly like, okay, this property is gonna need $20,000 worth of work, or this property is gonna need only $10,000 worth of work. It's kind of like I kind of keep track with exactly like what's going where and how quick is the turnaround on the money. You know what I'm saying? Okay, if I put this there, okay, when do you think I'll get paid back from that? So it's kind of like I try to stay on top of it, especially when I'm doing these kind of projects and this kind of money just flowing around. It's kind of like you kind of want to know exactly like where your money at. Okay, I got money tied over here. I got money tied in this car or whatever going on. Like you just want to be on point.
All right, so what's like the worst experience you ever had, like renting somebody a B&B or like a car?
The worst experience? I mean, I've been blessed. I mean, you know, you have them experiences, but I feel like, you know, I haven't experienced that much bad. Like, not to the point that I'm just like, I want to get out the business. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel that's how I feel about it. Like,
They ain't like nothing, like nobody just.
I mean, you know, you got your people. Like, come on now, like I got my stories.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't even want the client to be like, you know,
Oh damn, like
yeah, like I don't even want to call nobody out right now, like, cause you definitely have them clients that be having a lot going on. So,
So how do you deal with like difficult clients and stuff like that?
You say how do I deal with what?
Difficult clients or clients who just give you a hard time.
I mean, I treat it like business. Like everything is about business. It's about, you know, the way you carry yourself. So everything that I do, I treat it like business. Like you can't be my friend and we handling business at the same time. Like it don't work like that. Like business is business, and then our friendship is our friendship. So whatever we got going on outside of business, okay, cool. But when it's business, like I'm strict. Like, nah, this is how it gotta go. This is what's gotta happen, and it need to be done by this date. Like especially when it comes to the business.
So like, I know sometimes your friends may want like discounts or like
Ain't no discount. I ain't got no discount.
Let me ride in the car for free. Let me get the B&B for free.
I mean, like my partners that have to just catch me when you can. Like if I'm in it, then
Yeah.
you know, like
If you
what's
want to
mine
ride,
is yours. Like, yeah, you feel me? But like if I'm not in it, well, you gotta pay. You gotta pay, and that's just me being your friend. Like, cause I'm gonna pay. Like if you got something going on and you want me in on whatever you got going on, like I'm gonna pay. Like, I ain't gonna make you feel like I'm not gonna pay. Like I support you. You know what I'm saying? So I be one of my friends like to support me how I support you. Whatever is going on, like support me.
So have you ever fell out with anybody about that? Like, damn, you ain't gonna let me get in the Cybertruck, the Lambo, or damn, you got a 5-bedroom. Ain't nobody booked it. Let me
I mean, you know, people gonna feel how they feel. They gonna definitely feel how they feel when it comes down to the business. But it's up to me to stand on 10. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing I don't play by is my respect or my loyalty. And I mean, once somebody understand like I can't go for that, then it's just like I can't go for it. You gotta respect it. Because if I just fall for it, then I'm not holding myself accountable.
Yeah.
You know, especially for the things I'm trying to do in life. Like, so you just gotta respect my hustle. You gotta respect my grind. It's, you can't have no mixed feelings about it.
So
if we fall out, we fall out.
For sure. So what was your like welcome to entrepreneur life moment? Like, damn, I'm an entrepreneur. Or like, damn, I ain't know that. Or like somebody ever try to play you in the business, or like, you know, or like hold out, or like, damn, they told me the wrong thing, or you know.
I mean, I feel like that's with every business. I feel like every business is always gonna be somebody holding out. It's always gonna be somebody like trying to gatekeep information, but it's up to you to like really trying to learn the business. It's really up to you to like understand the business. And I feel like that's really what I had to do. I had to really understand like, okay, this go for this, or, you know, this is how much we charge. You know, when certain events come to the city, like the prices go up. The prices can't stay the same because it's an event going on. Beyonce come or, you know, Kanye West come to Atlanta, like prices definitely going up. You know, just because it's something to do. And we know that people are gonna want to ride in these type of vehicles or stay in this type of property. So the prices, they fluctuate with whatever going on at the time.
For sure, for sure. So, all right, back to what was your welcome to entrepreneurship life moment? Like, damn, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, somebody tried to,
I feel like when my boy Josh really opened it, like he doing that, it was like, boy, like he do, like that's one of my friends that I could say like that be on me for real. Like, hey man, we need to do this. Like, man, you playing? Like, he'll call my phone, like, boy, you ain't working today? Oh, you laying around still? Like, I feel like he woke me up. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I needed them type of friends around me to actually like wake me up for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I came to your first podcast, like came with him to even understand, like, dang, this what be going on behind the scenes. Like, I never really had that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like just being around certain friends and people pushing me to like, okay, boy, lock in right now. Like, it's one of them times, like, you got to lock in.
Yeah.
That's what really made me lock in.
So has it ever been like an overwhelming moment for you dealing with, the exotic cars, the business in general, where you probably been like, damn, like, I need to take a step back and just rethink it, like.
I feel like it more be on some stuff like I got to take a step back and revamp. I think like that's like the most important thing. Like, run it the way that I want to run it. I gotta run it how I want it to be ran. I can't run it how nobody else want me to run it. I can't do what somebody else want me to do. It's kind of like I gotta be locked in and focused. Okay, like this is what's gonna go on, and this is how it need to go on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it'd be more of me just revamping. I might take everything down off of Instagram today and just tomorrow just start something new.
Yeah.
Like,
so what has been like your marketing strategies? How do you market your Airbnb or, market your exotic cars or just whatever you do in general?
I would say Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. Those are like the ways that I feel like I market. But I feel like I market enough, but I can start marketing even more. And I feel like that's kind of like what I'm working on right now, like revamping everything to market the way I want to market and have everything ran the way I want it to be ran.
Okay, for sure. I fuck with that. Lavish 444, you know what I'm saying, in the building.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? I want to also take time and say I'm proud of you.
Appreciate
you. Know what I'm saying? For you, what you got going on and what you doing, like, I'm going to take time to let you know, like, I'm proud of you too.
Appreciate it, gang. Appreciate it, gang. You know what I'm saying? Anything like you want to tell the people, or like a little motivation, or, you know what I'm saying, something that they need to know about your business?
Motivation-wise, I would like to say just, like, stay consistent. If you got anything going on, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, I feel like just stay consistent. Don't never give up, especially not on your dreams or whatever you want to do. Like, if you really want to be successful, man, like, strive. Like, be the best that you can be. Don't let nobody tell you that you're not good enough or you can't go hard enough. Like, push yourself. And that's what I got on, like, the motivation tip. But with the exotic cars, I feel like, if you need an exotic car, you need an exotic rental, you can easily DM me at Lavish444, or you can DM my business page, which is 444 Lavish Rentals, and I'll be able to hit you right back up on that too.
For sure. PTFiles.
PTFiles. I fuck with PTFiles. That's family. They family. We overly
family
locked in.
For sure. Lavish 444. Dang, hold on. Drip check real quick.
Drip check. It's on. It's on. I swear it's on.
He got the LV.
Go LV, Christian Dior, Ricky's.
For sure. Louboutin bag.
Like, it's on. I definitely came prepared.
Day to day.
Yeah.
This day to day?
Yeah, day to day. It just depends. It just depends.
Light work.
Slight work.
Okay,
work.
Cool.
Yeah.
For sure. Lavish 444, man, in the building. Exotic cars, Airbnb rentals, whatever you need, he got it. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
For sure. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the mic.
We locked in. Overly. PTFiles. I'm there.
This PTFiles, and we out.